He had another 4 months to go on a 2-year stint. He was a car wash owner turned tax protester who had believed some internet nonsense about income taxes being unconstitutional. So for a pissy $100,000 or so, he had become a guest of the state, learning the hard realities behind constitutional law. Take care, Myron. Give me a call sometime. I doubted he would. Neither of us would want to remember where we had met. There were a few murmured goodbyes from the darkened cells as the two guards walked me off the block. Otisville harbored a more congenial, less confrontational clientele than Raybrook, where I had served the first 18 months of my sentence. At Otisville, it was possible to play a game of cards that did not lead to getting jumped in the yard the next day. I hadn't exactly made friends there, just acknowledged fellow travelers. 2 years. 2 years earlier, in the midst of a plea bargain meeting, I thought I had misheard. 2 years. For an accounting shuffle? Ridiculous. You pay a fine and move on, time served. That's how these things end up. But the feds wanted my scalp. It was a $500 million accounting shuffle, which had come close to bringing down a major investment bank. The stock had plummeted, investors were outraged. The president's mother-in-law lost almost $10,000. The feds needed someone to put in the stocks and get pelted with stones and rotten fruit. I was their man. My first stop was Raybrook. It's about a long home run from the Canadian border, high in the Adirondacks. It's the real deal. Somehow, when you do time for a white-collar crime, you think you're going to spend the days passing around barons and discussing your portfolio with like-minded individuals. Work out, grow a beard, and catch up on your reading. It wasn't like that. Most of the habitués were there on drug charges, racketeering, or both. It was an eye-opening masterclass in diverse patterns of confrontation in modern gang culture. I barely passed. The macho posturing of Wall Street does nothing to prepare you for the moment when a 300-pound Latino man with a dark purple scar running across his throat looks up at you from across the chow hall table and rasps out the words, "Hey, baboso, give me your lunch." I rapped twice on the table and offered him the bread and mashed potatoes. Truce. In comparison, Otisville was cake. It's no country club, no matter what the Wall Street Journal implied when I was moved there, but the prisoners are all short-timers and less prone to violent solutions to minor disagreements. No one wants to risk getting his sentence extended when he's marking off the last days till he goes home. And the food was better. "Mr. Stafford?" I hadn't heard him come in. He was a clerk, not a guard. A little pudgy, baby-faced. Happy to have a $10 an hour clerical job with full benefits, even if it was the night shift at the federal prison camp. I had a sudden flash of panic. They weren't going to let me leave. There was a mistake, and this unlikely boob had been assigned the job of letting me know. "I'm your release expediter. I have some forms to go over with you." I sucked in a breath, let it out slowly, then did it again. My pulse rate slowed. "Will this take long?" As though I had an appointment. "I'll do what I can." His voice went up at the end of every sentence, making it a question. I didn't know how much of it I could take. "I know you have someone here to pick you up." He nodded toward the window. A guard was steering my father into an office and out of view. "I hope to get you out in no time at all." He wanted to be nice. He wanted me to be nice, too. I thought of some of the other detainees he must have mustered out. It was a high-stress job. I decided to try to make it easy on him. "What do you need from me?" "Forms." He explained them in bureaucratic detail. I signed them. He handed me a big, padded envelope that held my clothes from the first day I entered the system. Underwear, jeans, and a polo shirt. I signed for them. I signed a release form that said I had been advised of the necessary procedure.